while I was in the BOP, if we're talking about like archipelagos and stuff like that, I was escorted into the chapel one day, and there's a big drug problem in every single BOP, which is nuts. But I was brought into the chapel, and an inmate kind of, escorts me into the inner chamber of the office there, and he opens up a drawer, and it's Chris Burgard's Capital Punishment, and he says, "Hey man, we were told that any January 6ers that are here, you should watch this, but you can't tell anyone that it's here." And in my head, I'm thinking, where am I? Because this can't be America, that a movie has to be smuggled into prison to expose that January 6th is none other than a lobster trap. So that's Chris Bogard's, War on Truth was his sequel, but Capital Punishment was a movie that I got to watch and relive some of the footage that you showed here today, and realize that at least there's people on the outside that are ringing the bell to show that, yes, atrocious things happened on January 6th, but the way that the law was applied to us was an even graver sin.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't, the question is, does the punishment fit the crime?
The process was the punishment.
Well, the process is the punishment, yeah.
Yes, which is illegal if you think about it.
Well, speaking of crimes and process, let's go back to the January 6th clips where we left off, and then we'll get to your incarceration. So what is this clip?
That is prior to me making up my mind that I'm going to get involved.
Making up your mind that you do want to get involved.
I do, yeah. Well, so that was after
and
I
which
had
one
seen,
is you?
The one with the red hat on.
Okay.
The red MAGA hat on. So at that point in time, I had watched several flashbangs explode in front of people's faces. At that point in time, I'd watched several women get shield bashed. At that point in time, I had watched people get batoned in the face. And at that point in time, I had watched not just Antifa and federal agents in the crowd, but also Capitol police officers do everything within their power to try to provoke us into this action. And now you might not be able to hear it in this clip, but that tower that you see to the right, there's people on megaphones that are also saying, "This is it, patriots, do or die. If you don't do something now, you're going to lose your country forever." So with the stimuli of all three parties that I just recited, you've got actual people playing the bagpipes, megaphone people. And if you look closely, that uniform that I'm wearing there too is the exact same uniform that I wore to Afghanistan, all three combat deployments, to show that I had already invested sweat and blood equity into the future of my country. This is serious. If you steal my election, I've got a problem with that. And we have a responsibility to keep this republic by any means necessary. And so that was what I was trying to communicate with wearing the uniform, though everything that they pointed out were tools in order to protect and rescue life, like the medical scissors and, the gauze and, tourniquets and things like that. But they got it twisted so hard to think that I actually dressed up for war.
All right, let's play the clip.
Yeah.
So what just happened?
Yeah, so I had watched the struggle over the bike racks, and I had watched that people were pushing back and forth, and the police were leaning over them, attacking the protesters, and then retreating behind them, and the protesters were left without a chance. So instead of pushing back and forth, I'd realized, well, if we absorb it into the crowd, then maybe we can even the odds.
The gate, the fence, absorb it into the crowd, and you kind of pulled it back there.
If only we had more footage of me actually being hit, people being blown up, people being struck, a different story would be told. Would expose that there was a grand plot at work here. And I think that's the other thing that most people either just allow to overlook or they decided not to think that these grandmas, these young kids, these people that have no criminal history whatsoever just woke up one day and wanted to raise hell. Not the case. A lot of these people are acting because they're provoked, or they're emotionally taken advantage of, or they were defending themselves or defending others.
Yeah, I hear you. I think one thing that people might say, without me taking a position on it, is why get involved in that? Like, why get grabbing police officers' batons and grabbing fences and taking shields from Capitol police officers? Like, why put yourself in that situation?
Yeah, well, I think, when I hear you speak, I think of the analogy where, if you hear someone being raped, but you think someone else will come and save the day, but everyone else in the neighborhood
Defense
thinks
of
that.
others. I'm hearing a defense of others there.
Exactly.
You're defending other people.
Well, and not just other people, but if you think about it, our Constitution will become extinct if other people don't rise up to defend it.
So defense of others, including defending the Constitution itself.
Absolutely.
Okay, and let's go to the next clip. That's you. You look a lot different. Pause. You look so different. That's you with the hand raised up there. Red arrows pointing at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, your whole face and hair. I guess it's obviously longer now. You haven't cut your hair since that day?
No. Well, I actually haven't cut my hair since they locked us up in March of 2020.
How old are you?
Arrest. I'm 32.
Okay, I was going to say not a single gray hair on your head after all the...
I've plucked a couple of them. While I was locked up, I plucked a couple.
I guess you have sufficient time to do that, right?
That and a lot of prayer, man.
A lot of prayer.
Well, there was a metamorphosis that took place.
Yeah.
And one of the arguments that I make in the book is you can actually tell the sins and mistakes of a man by the lines on his face, which is something that I think a lot of people 100 or 200 years ago can understand and put in their literature.
So you can tell if someone's guilty based upon how wrinkled they are.
Oscar Wilde puts it in his Picture of Dorian Gray. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle talks about it in his Sherlock Holmes books. There's information that has been deliberately hid from us so that we can remain naive and the catalyzation of the American can continue.
Well, some of the Maha community say all you need is beef tallow at night.
Beef tallow, creatine,
tallow, water.
Water, yeah.
Sleep.
Sleep is huge.
Did you get 8 hours a night in prison?
Not at all. And I think that was something that I've actually, as I've tried to recover from, haven't really been able to have yet. A good night's sleep.
Was it one of those puffy mattresses with a sheet on it, or what was it like?
More like a plastic bag with a flat tire inside. That was what you would call a mattress back in the day, on a steel bunk.
The sheet, the covering?
Oh, full of holes, disgusting. Yeah, the conditions are horrific.
Do you have a sheet? Do you have a blanket? Do you have what
Sometimes. Sometimes
So when I was in the parish jail in Louisiana, it was literally a sheet on a green mattress, and they kept the lights on.
Oh, yeah. Nonstop. So there's no rest.
And the hard part for me was, like, I need, like, a heavy, comforter.
Right.
Like a duvet or something. Like, I'm a little bit high maintenance when it comes to that
And maybe the ability to turn the lights off.
I mean, if I had to choose, I would prefer the lights on with a heavy comforter to literally a sheet. I can't do a sheet.
Right.
If you go up here, scroll up to the top of this tweet if you could. Ryan Samsel, have you heard of this guy?
I have.
In a closet room, he was held for 5 months in isolation, moved around 17 different facilities. He's been beaten, abused, tortured, neglected. He's been denied due process. Is this accurate? By the way, is that his on the left? Is he nude, or is that an optical illusion?
I hope he's
an
not
optical
nude.
illusion. I thought it was his dick sticking out. Sorry. So America has become banana republic. Is this correct?
Well, I can say that I don't know how he got a photograph in there, but I do know that we were beaten, we were abused, we were tortured, and we were neglected. As far as the case on Ryan Samsel, I can't say whether or not that was the condition in which he was living. But I also don't know how he got a camera in there because electronics are forbidden.
This is the kind of mattress I slept on in the parish jail.
Oh, yeah.
It was green.
It's
it was
tough.
Covered in semen stains.
It's disgusting.
But that was a different circumstance, and they were praying the Quran at 3 or 4 in the morning.
Not okay.
Did they pray the Quran in your jail?
Every single Bureau of Prison is a recruiting camp for the Nation of Islam.
Is that a yes?
That is a big yes.
So you heard them pray. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
The first night, I was like, "What is going on?" It's strange noises. I mean, I was pretty young and naive and innocent. It was like the Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That scene. It was exactly like that scene. You've seen that movie.
I have.
With when she's walking through and that guy like ejaculates on her.
Yeah, that happened a lot while I was locked up in Northern Neck Regional Jail, which I would argue is the worst place of them all, not just because the conditions are very comparable to those images there, but they're actually getting away with fraud. So they house both state, local, and federal inmates but they use a federal budget so that they can keep the state and local taxes for their own benefit. I got a buddy of mine named John Haynes in the Northern Neck Sentinel. That's his newspaper company. That has been on him from day one about how Northern Neck is not only fudging the budget, but how they're also egregiously torturing people in that building. They're feeding them mouse poop infested food that not even a human would devour from boxes that say not for human consumption, with cockroaches that bounce out of it. And
What jail is this? Where is this?
Northern Neck Regional Jail in Warsaw, Virginia. I was there for 13 months and I was a painter there for 12. I was actually the guy that they would haul up out of bed in the middle of the night, say, hey, we need you to paint over this cry for help or this blood or this mold because we have an inspection coming here soon within a week. So that place is wretched. It's terrible. And John Haynes has a lot of secrets that they do not want exposed out of Virginia.
Deception. All right, let's talk healthcare, because the system is a total mess. Do you really trust your insurance company? You're paying outrageous premiums, and months later, the bills still keep coming. Confusing networks, denied claims, surprise fees, now rates they're saying might go up 20% or more. And did you know that medical debt is the #1 cause of bankruptcy? Those are some of the many reasons why I suggest switching from traditional health insurance to Impact Health Sharing. Impact Health Sharing is a powerful health sharing community that takes the middleman and the corporate profit-driven bureaucracies out of your healthcare and puts the power back in your hands. You can save up to 50% and get clear costs, real savings, and no woke nonsense. You can pick any doctor, no surprise bills, 24/7 telehealth, maternity support. Take control of your healthcare before the system decides for you. Go to impactomg.com to learn more and get your free quote in seconds, or call 855-378-6777 now. That's impactomg.com, impactomg.com. Impact Health Sharing, built differently.